Welcome back to the show. Let's talk to an individual. His name's Rob Fenton. He's the head honcho, that sounds an interesting business title to me, Hipsters, Hackers and Hustlers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Number of questions. What do you do? What's your company do? That's a really cool...
So we do a lot of things. Primarily, we're an organisation that helps startups and tech startups in particular succeed. Our organisation is mostly made up of early stage startups, and we mostly do events which help them network and connect with investors, with clients, with co-founders, and grow from there.
When we say events, okay, is these sort of wine parties where you sort of turn up and all put your business cards in and
No, it's not the swinger scene so much, but it's more, well, and we also do them in a fun way. So we try and do the usual stuff where people get to meet each other, but we add a real good fun spin. So for example, the event that really launched us was one which is called Co-Founder Dating and Speed Pitching. And effectively, we give everyone 30 seconds to come up on stage, pitch what they like to, whatever they want to pitch, but to make it more fun and to make sure that they keep to time, we shoot them off stage after if they go over time with water pistols. So,
do you really?
Yeah. So we have like a firing squad of water pistol ninja shooters.
Brilliant. So it's almost akin to a dating agency. 30 seconds.
Kind of.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really quirky.
So, but we're taking that several steps crazier next year. So we're partnering with Thought Park, and they're going to have to pitch while riding the roller coasters.
You being serious?
Yes.
I guess you are, aren't you? So talk to me a bit about the types of pitches you advise on.
Everything from pitching, mostly pitching to investors, because that's what every startup wants. They need money. So we coach them from everything from body language to content to delivery, performance, all of those elements of a pitch.
Okay, so body language, how important is that? I know that I'm not very good at body language, never have been, never will be. How important is that?
It's incredibly important because it portrays confidence. If you're kind of tied in and shown and shy and so forth, that doesn't show to a potential investor that you're confident, that you believe in your product.
But can you teach somebody to be extrovert, not introvert?
I don't know if you can teach them about being extrovert or introvert, but you can train them in body language, and you can rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and eventually it becomes sort of muscle memory effectively.
So what's your top tip in terms of my sort of, well...
Openness. Open body language.
Is that your hands in front of you?
Well, not so much in front of you, but stand tall, stand proud, shoulders back, chest out. It also helps you breathe if your chest is open, because if you're like this, you're hunched, you can get out of breath, and it's all part and parcel of being closed. So open yourself out. It also, when you're open, it shows that people tend to trust you more if you're open, and they don't think you're hiding so much. So again, if an investor thinks that I can trust them, I believe in what they're doing, and if the startup says, I'm going to take my company from X to X and I'm going to deliver you. So if you do it with confidence, they're going to believe you more.
Okay, so defense as opposed to offense, you can help me on that.
Yeah.
In terms of networking, okay, I get invited to loads and loads of sort of wine parties, and quite often I'm just not in the mood, and I sit there in the corner and pretend that my mobile phone is, playing around, and I kid myself, I'm texting on, the CEO of Tip TV or whatever. Can you really teach people that?
Sure.
How?
Again, it's training, it's practice. Practice makes perfect in all of these scenarios. But also, so for example, we do things like, most people don't know how to introduce themselves. You go to these networking things and say, hi, my name is blah, 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 but they do it in such a bad way that the person doesn't engage. And also when you're at these networking events, people are so thinking about themselves that they're not really listening. So you have to teach them how to express themselves and engage with what you're trying to get across to them. And again, part of body language, part of the tools that you use, the business cards, how you shake hands, eye contact, all of those things. Little tips as well. You often go to these events and networking where it's just two of you and someone else will come beside you, and that person sits there like a dummy.
Yep.
And it's very hard to, but if you're really good, all you do is you welcome that person into the conversation. You go, hey, this is Nick here, this is James, and so forth. You two connect and so forth. And it's actually a really useful.
And then you disappear.
Exactly. It's a really easy way of extricating yourself, because that's the other thing. You get stuck in these conversations and you don't know how to get out of it.
Okay, but the bathroom.
How many times can you go to the bathroom in an evening?
Okay, well, you're teaching me stuff. I feel as if you should be my personal coach. Now, in terms of the events you organise, okay, we talked about Thought Park. What else do you get up to?
So, like I said, our events are about helping to engage people. And so I go to a lot of events where it's about networking. It's a speaker speaking to the audience or a panel discussion. As good as those are, then they're not what we do. We tend to do everything that's about interaction. So the other format that's really proved really popular is what we call Gap Gas, which is short for got a problem, get a solution. We allow effectively startups to come up on stage, brief introduction about themselves, and effectively tell what problem they're struggling to solve, at which point we open it to the audience to crowd solve it for them. And that becomes a really fun, interactive conversation.
Does that work?
It works a real treat. It's kind of like a larger mastermind session.
Okay, so you sound very, very grounded to me. Where did you get all of your experience from?
I don't know if we've got enough time. I mean, I've done everything from being a bus driver to an estate agent to a pilot in the Navy to sports and language teacher and travelled all over. I have a very varied background because my mother is Brazilian, my dad is half English, half Swedish. I was born in France, so I speak a lot of languages and travelled all over. So I've been incredibly lucky, but I've pulled all of those experiences into being able to give that back to other people.
Bus driver to a crowdfunding expert.
Well, I think it's because I have a very short attention span and low boredom threshold, so I'm always looking for the next experience and the next thing. So I like to create and start things, and then I kind of hand them over for other people to run.
What football team do you support?
Well, I'm Brazilian, so I support Brazil. I don't do local, more international.
Okay. Right, give me 3 bullet points to wrap up the interview. Okay, I'm watching this thinking, wow, that all sounds sensible. How do I get in touch with you? Would you consider taking me on board?
Sure.
What have you got to say?
The easiest way to get in touch with us is go to our website, which is hipstershackershustlers.com, with hyphens in between each word. So everything that we do is listed there. I'm happy to work with anybody that wants some help. I like to give back to the community, which is why we originally started these events. They're all free. We don't charge for anything that we do. And yeah, and top tips, get out there, talk to as many people as you can. That'll give you the opportunities that if you stay at home and try and hide it, and it's not going to get anywhere.
Understood. That was just absolutely brilliant stuff. Rob Fenton, head honcho, Hipsters, Hackers and Hustlers. I cannot believe he's come on the show and offered his services for free. I'm going to take him up on that.